See, when you feel a victim to your life, you don't want to say you spoke it. I always say, you know, there was a time in my life when I would go, God, who's writing and this horrible story called getting kicked out of college and on government's assistance and low self-esteem? Who's writing this horrible story about my life? Who's writing this story? And then I focus on the pen. And then I focus on the wrist. And then I focus on the elbow. And then I focus on the shoulder. And then I go, oh, damn, that's my hand holding that pen, writing that story. That's the law of attraction. It doesn't mean that everything that's happened to you, that you made it happen. Now you think you're too powerful. That's where the dissension occurs. There's some things that we don't know why they happen. A child getting cancer, I don't know why it happened. But what I do know is that if a child got cancer around me, I can navigate the energy that I have going through the experience.
Yes.
That if I were crippled all of a sudden, a car accident tomorrow,
yes.
I choose how much joy I have the day I get out of the hospital. That's what we have power over. That your circumstance might be influenced and will be influenced by others, but your mind is never available to anybody else but you. So the law of attraction is what you think about, you bring about. What you think about, you bring about. That your life is a physical manifestation of the conversation going on in your head. And if you want to see more, then think more. You want to play bigger, think bigger. Now here's the gap. Here's where the secret left off from a secret teacher. Words plus action equals manifestation. Most people thought thoughts equals manifestation. And then they said, that's why people refuted it. It doesn't work. Oh, no, it works. We just didn't have time. It was a 51-minute show. So if we had another 51 minutes, I would have put it on action. Thoughts plus action equals manifestation. There's no way you can't get what you want if you think about it and you make it detailed. And as a child, they used to say, oh, the devil's in the detail. No, the angel's in the details. The results are in the details. You think about it, you write it out, you focus on it, you speak it out, you get someone to hold you accountable to it, and you get in radical action, transformation has to occur. Any mountain in front of you has to bow down. Every single time. I am not supposed to be where I am today. I am not supposed to be who I am today. If it was just about where you come from equals where you go. I disrupted that conversation. You disrupted that conversation.
How much of it is the what versus the how, right? The classic question, right? So I want this, I want to create this in my life, in the world, in my business, in my income, and whatever it is for the audience at home they're aiming for. How much of it is what I want versus the how? Obviously, how is the detailed plan, it's important.
Yeah.
But which one is more of the energy important to come from or think from?
Well,
you get the question?
I do. And I'm always going to answer you backwards, probably untraditional than anyone else you've interviewed.
Okay, I love it.
I think that if your what's not big enough, and if it doesn't help enough other people, then it's not going to have a lot of juice in it. It can't be isolated. And if it's finite, you can still get it, but it's going to be limited because it's finite. It's not, but
it's not an ongoing energy
I'm a social change agent. Yeah. So I'm going to think like, if the bigger your what, and the more, what's that thing?
Was it ripple effect possibility?
Yeah, the more that it can create its own tidal wave onto others,
yes,
the more your how becomes non-negotiable.
I love that.
See, if your what's not big enough, your how is just like when people come to me and they'll pay me a lot of money and their what is like this, I go, can we please work with a bigger what so I can have fun with this? Because
yes,
when your what's big enough, and when your what's like a Nelson Mandela's, yes, when you're what's like a Mother Teresa, like a Mahatma Gandhi, a Cesar Chavez, a Martin Luther King, a Bishop Tutu, when you're what's like that, and it's like, ooh, you don't even know how you're gonna see it in your lifetime.
Yes.
See, we can get into a selfish thing and we want to see it all done in our lifetime. Well, that's selfish because your lifetime is finite. That's kind of small.
Yeah.
right? Like
Absolutely,
I want to start something that I can see some of it, but I ain't gonna see the best part probably because it's just gonna keep growing. So to me, when your what is about something that's significant enough to change the way tides go. It's enough to make people who wouldn't get up normally get up. It's enough to make people think twice. Your how begins to unfold and creates. Your how actually gets more momentum.
I love that.
Your how like if your what has enough juice in it, your how will start running in front of you. This life, this Lisa, I was trying to keep up with her for a long time. That one little moment in The Secret, I talked about looking in the mirror and loving yourself. It was so big. And then that other one little moment, I did something else. It was so big. So when you're what, that was the what. I just want people to fall madly in love with themselves.
Yes.
That what. And so the what doesn't have to be inventing the computer. It doesn't have to be like that because that was huge.
Yeah.
It could be something else that seems so here, but it's so wide. Man, that how will take on its own life. When you're clear on the what, and you're become non-negotiable with your what, because your what can't shake, and your what can't check the temperature of the weather outside. Right. And if the weather's good, then the what's strong. If the weather's not good, then the what's weak.
It's irrelevant.
No, it's right. The what has to be the what, yes. Right? And when it happens, then your what and your why begins to attach itself to someone else's what and why. And you begin to find common ground, and there's an energy that's exchanged. And then our what and our why touches someone else's what and someone else, and all of a sudden you just have this tsunami that's being created. But the what has to start off big enough.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Because it has to get you through. You're not, when you decide your what, Omar, you're not deciding your what for these days. Mm-hmm. This is, I would hope to think, this is the good day. You're deciding your what for the days when the project is still going, but the money ran out.
Right.
You're deciding your what for the days when the family says, I don't even understand what you're doing. You are so bizarre. Yes. The what has to stand the days when the significant other doesn't want to be so significant anymore in your life.
All three of those happened in my
Exactly,
life. Yes.
Exactly. And so your what has to withstand those days. They don't have to withstand these days. I always tell people, choose your dream based on the worst possible. Don't focus on the worst, but choose it based on being ready and okay with the worst possible fallout, and then still choose it. Then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's true. There's no way out.
I'm not wondering.
Full speed ahead.
I'm not worried about anything. I'm down. I say yes to it all. That's when I say yes, yes. That second yes that's not just a cliche. That second yes is louder because the first yes is to you and your dream. The second yes is to what it's going to cost you.
Yeah. I love that. It's so beautiful. Now, last question before we wrap up. This has been an incredible interview, and I'm honored by the kind words. And this question is for people around the world. I'm sure you have coaching clients, I have coaching clients, and whether people have coaches or not, there's people out there really struggling right now. Particularly now more than ever with Instagram and social media, people comparing themselves, oh, they're this successful, what am I? I'm not good looking, right? You know, that classic dialogue. What would Lisa Nichols' best advice be to somebody out there who's looking for answers? Maybe they're lost, maybe they're broke, or maybe they're financially great, but they're unfulfilled inside, they're stuck, they're lost. What's Lisa Nichols' best advice on step one on how to go from being lost and in a funk to making your life work?
I would tell you to do the same thing I did 21 years ago. I got in the mirror, because if I'm lost, I lost myself. I got in the mirror and I completed 3 different sentences. I looked at myself, and the first sentence was, Lisa, I'm proud that you. And I found 7 different things to be proud of myself for. So that's your first sentence. I'm proud that you. Look in the mirror right after you finish watching this and find 7 different things to be proud of. I'm proud that you. And from small things to big things. Second sentence, cut the shackles to blame, shame, guilt, and regret. The second sentence is, say your name and say, I forgive you for. And forgive yourself for 7 different things. And the third sentence, say your name, I commit to you that. And by doing that, you are now, and do it every day for the next 30 days, and something will shift. You celebrate yourself first. I'm proud that you. You release the shame, blame, guilt, regret, and anger by saying, I forgive you for. And the third thing is you make a commitment to yourself before you commit to anybody else by saying, I commit to you that. So I summarized that. That's the exercise I did. I did it for 6 months. But I was diagnosed as clinically depressed, and I was prescribed Prozac when I did it. And so I needed to get my life back.
Wow.
So I did it every day to find Lisa. So I'm not just telling you this as a nice little thing over there. I'm telling you what I did to turn my crawl into a walk, and my walk into a run, and my run into a soar. I did those very things because who you are is an unrepeatable miracle. No one can do you better than you. And you are the best gift that your environment could have, as they are a gift to you. And it's not in the time that you're standing that you're going to be the greatest value at times. It's when you're staggering and getting back up, when someone's watching you and you inspire them to do the same.